Jax's Dream is a quick-playing solo card game by these two designers that was voted the best solitaire game in the 2025 Traditional Deck Game Design Contest. To set up, make a deck of cards ace through 8 in all 4 suits. Shuffle that up and then deal the cards into 5 columns. You'll be left with 2 cards, so then you just deal 1 to the leftmost column and 1 to the rightmost column. Place the 4 sleepy jacks off to the side, and then return the rest of the cards to the box. That's it, we're ready to begin. We'll win the game if we can reach this final table configuration, where the jacks are all tucked in and ready for bed, surrounded by pillows, which are these face-down cards. In order to make a pillow, we need to manipulate the card so that we have a stack of all 4 of a particular rank. We can move a number card from the tops of any of these columns into another column as long as it's on top of a card of the same rank. So for example, I could take this 3 and move it on top of that 3. I could also take this 8 and move it on top of that 8. What I can also do is I can take a stack and move it onto a card of the same rank. So for instance, I can take these 2 8s, which form a stack, and I could move both of them onto this 8 together. And look at that, that creates a stack of 7s, which I could move if there was another 7 that I could move it to. Instead of doing that, though, I think I'd rather move this 8 onto here. That then free ups that 4. So if I move this 3 over to that 3, now the 4s are open. So I could move this 4 on top of that 4. Okay, I've now come to a position where I'm stuck, right? I can't manipulate this anymore. So at any time, whenever we want, we can take one of the jacks that we have over here off to the side in our hand, and we can add it to any column. So for example, I could put the jack there. The only rule with jacks is you can't place it in the same column as another jack unless you're placing it on a pillow. And in fact, if you want to play an even more difficult game, you can play where under no circumstances you can put a jack in the same column as another jack. Now that we've placed this jack here, we can put any number on top of it. We could also place any stacks of numbers on top of it. So we could put all of these 3 8s on top of this jack if we wanted to. I want to move this 5 and place it here. That opens up this 3. Oh, wait. So I actually want to move these stacks of 3s over here, I think. Because if I place these over here, then the 5 opens up. Yeah. So we're going to take these stacks of 3s, move it on top of that 3. That opens up a 5 that I can move on top of the 5. And now we've gotten to this 8, which I can put on top of the 8. And boom, we've done it. We now have a stack of 4 8s. So as soon as that happens, you create a pillow by taking all 4 of those, just grabbing any one of them and turning them face down. And the other ones just go out of play. Now a pillow is a little finicky because the only thing that you can put on a pillow is a jack. And also if you move a pillow, you can only move a pillow onto a jack or to an empty column. That means we can't move numbers on there, and we also can't move other pillows on top of other pillows. But here we go. We can keep going because we can take this 4, move it here. We now have 3 4s. There's a 4 underneath these 3 3s. Ah, the 4th 3 is buried way over there. That's unfortunate. I think I'll place a jack right here. Oh no, actually, why don't we put the jack on top of the pillow? Is that a good idea? If we put the jack on top of the pillow, we could move the 2 on top of the jack. Okay, I kind of like that. Let's move the 2 on top of the jack. Now that 5 can come over here. That means we could move these 3s. this stack of 3s into the empty space, because you can move anything into the empty space. That frees up this 4, and now we have 4 4s. So we've created another pillow. I don't have much of a plan after that. I'm not sure if this is a good idea, but I'm going to put a jack here and then move this 6 onto the jack. That will free up a space where I can move this pillow. Then I can put the last jack onto that pillow. And that will let me move this ace onto the jack. Because again, for pillows, only jacks can go on pillows, but on jacks, anything can go on, except for other jacks. So this is nice because it lets us move this 2 over here onto that 2. It opens up this 5 to go onto this other 5. That is 4 5s. So that's a pillow. The problem is, if I move this ace over here, we're stuck. But if I move this ace like that, got the 7s over here. I'd like to try to get to the 7s and move them over here, but we might be stuck. Oh, no, we're not stuck, because I can move this pillow onto that jack. And look at that, we have a jack that's all nice and cozy. Exactly how we want them to be, tucked in between 2 pillows. That's good, because I can then move this jack over to these aces. That opens up the 6 onto the 6. The 2 onto the 2. And here we go. This is what makes the more difficult version so much more difficult than the way we're playing. Because if you play the difficult version, you wouldn't be able to move this jack right here. That would be illegal. We're playing the easy version, so I can put that jack onto that pillow, and it's okay. So that's going to let us move this ace over here. We can move the 6 right here. Oh, got it. We can put the 3 here onto that jack. The 6 goes here. That's a pillow. The ace goes here. That's a pillow. Okay, I can move that pillow there. Yeah. I think that's right. Pillow here. Jack on top of the pillow. Now this 3 can move over. That becomes a pillow. Okay, it's starting to happen. I can move these 2 2s over onto either of these jacks. Oh, would it be better to go... Oh, yeah, I can move this over. I can put the 2s on this jack. This jack, yeah, moves over here. We tuck them in. Yes. The 2 7s go over here. 2 right here. That's a pillow. Seven over here. And that's going to be a pillow. And then we just go pillow, jack, pillow. And there we are. That is how you do it. Look at the jacks all tucked in for bed. So cute. Let's try that one more time, but this time we'll do it on hard difficulty and see if we can manage that. Okay, 5 columns. So remember, on this hard difficulty, at no point can we put 2 jacks in the same column. That definitely makes things more complicated. And right now, we got the 2 8s here. 8 here, 8 there. That's not great. 7, 7, but we got a 7 way deep there. The aces are kind of right around here. Oh, there's one back there. Ugh. I like this. 6, 2, 6, 2. So if we move the 6 somewhere, we could put that 2 on there. Oh no, we could move that 2 over here, then put the 6. 6, 2, then we get to the ace. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna go for a jack right away. Here. Ooh, or... here. Because then I could go 2, 7. Oh, and then the 4. Okay, this is a little complicated, but if I... Ooh. If I were to go 6 onto the jack, then 2... 2 here... No, no, no. Not 2 there. 2 here. Then the 6 onto the 6. Then we can take these stack of 2s, we put them here. The 7 then goes onto the 7. Now we need that 4 to go onto that 4. So we need to move the 2s. So now we need to have a jack here for this 4, just temporarily, because we're going to move the 8 onto the 8. Now we can move these 2s off of that jack over to that 2. This jack moves over to here for a second, just so we can place this 4 on. Then we move the jack back. Playing jumping jacks here a little bit. We now take these 3 6s and move them onto a jack. This one, I guess. This 2 moves on to these 3 2s. That makes a pillow. Got our first pillow. These 3 6s are a little bit of a problem. Because there's the other 6. I think we want this jack over here. We get these 2 7s back on there. Now do I move the ace over here and leave this open? Probably, because putting the ace here leaves a 5. That doesn't help. But if I move this ace here, I could put these 8s there. That frees up that 4. Well, that's better than nothing, I guess. Now have 4 3 4 3. And 2 4s right here with a 3. If I put out another jack there. Oh, that doesn't really help, does it? Ugh. Because that 5 is no good. What I need to do is, like, put these 6s on there. Move this jack. Okay, here we go. Move this jack over here. 4 on top of 4. Move the 3 over onto the jack. Hold on, wait a minute. Or should I move these 4s there? Then that 3. Then the 4. Yeah, that's what I want to do. We'll move these 4s onto here. We'll do 3. Then 4, that's a pillow. Now if I move these 2 3s over here, I can move this 6 here. And that's a pillow. Now I have a problem where I need to put a jack here, I guess. It's so hard to manipulate when you're playing hard, because if I do that... Oh, wait. I could go 7s here. Then I could put this on that. Oh, but that's where the other 3 is. Nevertheless, what if we did that? I could move this ace here. But then we have the 8. See, if those were the other way around, I could move the 7s over. Yeah, I'm stuck. I can make this work. Like, that doesn't work. I could make this work on easy, because I could move the jack over here, and I could, like, line these up and manipulate these. But on hard, it's so much more difficult. What if I do this? Jack over here. We're going to create an empty column. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Because now I can do this. Because, again, you can put the pillow into an empty column. Then I can do the jack. That jack is all nice and tucked in. That's great. That frees up this 3. The 5 is buried. Let's move the 3s over. Like that. And create a pillow. I can now move the jack over there. So again, the jacks are all in different columns. Oh, wait, so that doesn't work. Hold on. Where was this jack? Here? Okay, what if I move this jack here and then I put this pillow on it? I'm so close to making this work, because I have the 8 that I need right there to make a pillow. But in hard mode, this jack has to be either here or here at this point. Because there's jacks in other columns. And, like, I can move these 7s over. But then once again, I can't get that ace over here because this jack is here. Because I have to go... Jack has to be in one of these 2 spots. Ah! So I feel like in hard mode, I've lost. I don't think there's anything I can do. I'm not seeing it anyway in hard mode. In easy mode, boom, I place that over there, right? It can go onto a pillow, even if there's another jack, and then we can start manipulating. Right, I can go ace over here. I can then put the 7s over here. This jack can even go there to make it really easy. Then we go 8s there, pillow. We can get that jack right on there. We can get the 7s. Let's just go ahead and put the aces in here. The 5 can go onto this jack. So now we can go 7. That's a pillow. Aces is a pillow. 5 moves over. Pillow. Jack. Pillow. And then we have to go. Jack. Pillow. There. So yeah, if you want a real challenge in this game, try it on the difficult mode where you can never have 2 jacks in the same column. But there you go, that is a complete playthrough of Jax's Dream. I'd like to thank all the financial supporters of Totally Tabled, including the totally radical Jeff Fitzsimmons, Hextra, John Kohler, Scott Myers, Kevin Qualls, and Jay Satterwhite, as well as the totally bodacious Mart Spitzig. If you're interested in becoming a member, you can join on YouTube or my Patreon at www.patreon.com/totallytabled. You'll gain access to my new exclusive podcast, Table Talk, as well as unboxing videos and whatever extra stuff I come up with. As always, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.